Hi there! I'm back with another in-depth behind-the-scenes video from one of my recent shoots you might already have seen. It's the classy shoot I did with Olivia back in May, set in the studio, and this time around it was all about using a smoke machine and some Hessian fabric as a creative tool to achieve some interesting looks on an otherwise simple setup. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. While you see a little up-tempo clip of me prepping the backdrop and the studio in general, I've listed my gear for this shoot in the top left corner. It was almost the same as the last time me and Olivia did photos in the studio. The first thing I did when we began shooting was to adjust the light perfectly. I couldn't quite do this when Olivia wasn't standing on the backdrop, so even though I did what I could, before she went from the makeup to the actual setup, I still had to do some minor adjustments here before we began for real. At the bottom of the screen, I've added tons of insights about this particular subject, so I highly suggest you pay attention to all the info I'm giving here. Shooting in bursts and letting the smoke settle before you do your photos. You always have to be on guard and control it gently. Oh, by the way, a thing to keep in mind when working with smoke is that some smoke detectors actually register this kind of smoke as dangerous. So please make sure there are either no alarms at the location of shooting, or at least disable the detectors which are present so you avoid any panic when the alarm sounds.
Prøv lige for sjov at tage et enkelt skridt frem. Det er fint. Det er så fint. Men prøv at sætte dig en gang.
Ja, men der havde jeg tænkt sådan noget. Du ved. Det er sådan noget lidt...
Nej. Det er ikke helt lidt, eller hvad?
Nej, det er okay.
Here you see me changing both the angle, height, volume, etc. of the side light to spice things up a little bit. By adding some highlights to Olivia, it does two things. It pulls her away from the background, which in this case is the dark orange paper and the Hessian fabric. And it does light up the smoke, making it even more visible and intense. This is a simple way to create some different looks in the photos in a super simple session, where the whole point was to keep the technical use of props on a minimum. I played around with this second light and tried placing it directly on the floor straight behind Olivia to give her some even highlights on both sides and to emphasize the smoke behind her. Speaking about the smoke machine, it was very important to me to keep the output at a minimum all the time, so shooting in bursts was super important. You can't remove the smoke as easy as you can add it, so I had to keep that in mind when turning it on, and since we didn't have the assistant around at this second shoot in the studio, I had to both do the shooting with the camera but with the smoke machine as well. It was a super fun experience, and we had some good laughs because it wasn't all easy for me every time I had to multitask and use the remote control and the camera at the same time. At the end of the day, and when the final photos were done, we called it and began cleaning up the studio. It took some minutes to get all the smoke out, but I used that time to wrap up all the tripods, etc. As per usual, if you like what you see, please drop a comment below and tell me what you think. And feel free to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube or go check me out on Instagram or Patreon for more. I try to release these kind of videos as close to one per month as possible, though sometimes it slips. See you next time.
Sygt. Du er en spatula, sådan er det der.